to say what they like. But if anyone says anything back, that is an outrage. Totoo po yun. Ito nangyayari sa ating ngayon, no? Gusto ko lang pong tanungin ang ating mga inibitahan ng mga vlogger dito at media practitioner, ano? Pero unang pwedeng sumugot nito ay si Miss Malu. I just would like to know the real definition of fake news. Sa inyo, ano po? At ito ba ay buong Pilipinas na ba ito? O dito lang sa Metro Manila? Please.
Mr. Chairman, Congressman Abante, fake news can either be misinformation or disinformation. Misinformation is walang malicious intent. Nagkamali, for example, ang birthday ni Jose Rizal ay February. That's misinformation. Pero yung disinformation, pag sinabi mo na ang birthday ni Jose Rizal ay nung November 30, meron ka ng malis doon kasi alam mo birthday yun ni Andres Bonifacio. Malinformation on the other hand is manipulative propaganda. And there's such a thing as in propaganda, there is good propaganda and there is manipulative. You want to achieve an end goal which the facts do not bear you out. So ang fake news mo para sa akin ay alam mo yung katotohanan, factual, pero iniiba mo yung istorya. Iniiba mo yung, there's such a thing, sir, nasa messaging sa communication frame, iniiba mo yung impormasyon but to suit your end. So that is to me fake news. Kung sinabi ko, sir, na si Congressman Abante ay taga Manila, that's fact. Pero pag sinabi kong si Congressman Abante ay taga Manila pero tumitira sa Quezon City, the facts do not bear you out. So that can be seen as manipulative if I say, hindi actually botante yan eh. That is fake news. But it started with facts. Nakatira si Congressman Abante sa Manila. Tapos ang sumunod, hindi naman, sa Quezon City yan nakatira. So, hindi botante. Ergo, hindi kandidato.
Do you call that misinformation or disinformation?
Sir, that is already disinformation as far as I'm concerned. The misinformation is, hindi naman dyan sa Quezon City. Wala kang facts. Diba? So, how do you rebut that? By showing that you are a resident of Manila. Marami kasi, sir, nangyayari dahil dyan sa fake news, yung reputational sa online, lahat siguro ng mga politiko na-apektuhan yan. Kasi meron kayong reputation that to a certain degree is ito yung ginagamit mo for re-election. So pag nasira ka online, which means reputational, napakahirap bumangon. So, pag sunod-sunod yung sinasabi, conclusion in the mind of the receiver of the information. Hence, I would say, si Congressman Abante, talagang ang gulo niyan, hindi mo maintindihan kung saan. That is a conclusion arising from fake news.
Is this now true all over the country or only in Metro Manila?
Sir, media centers.
Mr.
I would say in media centers because like in Manila, Cebu, Davao, pwede ho ninyo, sir, na i-geofence ang location kung saan pumutok yung balitang yon, and you can see the relationship of the role of media centers, the high density of users, and the connectivity in the place.
How does that affect, for example, a politician na tinitira sa kind of fake news.
Sir, alam nyo, pag tinira kayo, ang kailangan authentic ang inyong reply. Ang problema ko sa ibang politiko, it takes time for them to react, and by that time, it becomes now the truth. Kunyari, may lumabas na issue ngayon. Some politicians would say, I do not want to react kasi pag nag-react ako, lalo kong pinahahaba, pinalalaki yung fake news. Pero kung hindi ho kayo magre-react, that in itself becomes now the narrative, the controlling narrative, which is very, very hard to respond to, especially going into campaign.
So, even if it's fake news, the politician must react.
Yes, sir. As far as I'm concerned, kasi you would want to write what is being said about you online. If you don't, it becomes a crisis for you. It becomes a reputational issue. And that is your currency when you run for public office. Sa political consulting mo, ang tawag doon, that's your brand. So if your brand is destroyed, it's going to be very, very hard for you to increase your trust. Natatandaan po ninyo to, sir, may awareness, may tiwala. Awareness, pwede kayong universal. Ang tiwala, napakahirap i-earn. Ngayon, pag nakikita, ginawa yung issue sa inyo, sa distrito nyo, uuga ho yung tiwala. At alam naman po ninyo, ang tiwala, in a 45-day campaign period, mahirap pong ma-rebuild. It will take time.
Pero ang paniwala ng iba, Ms. Malu, when you react, you become defensive. Pero nga, nabanggit mo na you have to be offensive on this, di ba?
Sir, kasi sa akin, the best defense is offense. And when you just say, when you be your authentic self, you're opening yourself, ito ako hindi totoo yan. So kung hindi nyo sasabihin hindi totoo yan, ang mga constituents nyo will always say, oh, tinan mo, nagnakaw yan. Oh, tinan mo, yumaman yan. Very hard to control. Especially during a very heated 45-day campaign period. Wala na ho kayong chance to clear that out. So bago pa mag 45-day campaign period, sinagot nyo na. And then you can reshare that. Then you can, push it and make it viral.
So, Mr. Chair, kailangan sa online din, kailangan gumamit.
Yes, sir.
Kailangan gumamit ka din ng blogger.
Yes, sir. Hindi, sir. Pwede ikaw na sa sarili mong page.
Ganoon.
Oo, kasi yun yung authentic self mo Kung pag ginamit mo sa mainstream media, it becomes fodder for news. Lalaki yung issue. Diba? Pero kung ito ang aking pag-aari, ito ang aking paniniwala.
So it is not enough, for example, like sa SOCMED, fake news. Hindi naman kinukuha ng mainstream media yan. So, it's not enough na hindi ito kinukuha ng mainstream media. Bakit di naman totoo yan, di ba?
Yes, sir. Kasi forever nandyan yan. May footprint ng negative reaction sa'yo. So you really have to, kung minsan nga, katulad doon ng exchanges kanina, yung pala 3 years ago pa yung video, so it remains there. And if you don't respond, then it becomes truth. Kaya nga ho, kanina ang sabi ko, in politics, there are shades of truth.
Thank you. That's quite a revelation to us.
Alam ko na congressman na Abante, nakikita ko dyan kasi, di ba, lumabas yung content mo na gano'n. Tapos, ayun na, meron naman na makita tayo ng mga bots. Reaction na. Mga reaction, hard, hot, yun. Kung bots nga yun, artificial intelligence and bots. So, yung explanation mo, mababalance na naman siya ng mga messages na binira na nila. Like for example, ngayon, target ka, target ako, target tayo lahat. So, mabalance nila yung yung content mo Ang maganda ng Facebook mo, pwede mo silang i-block. But yung kapag na-share na nila yun, tapos babalance na naman nila ng bots, lahat ng messages na naman, ayun na. Yun ang problem. And that where the CICC will come in. Di ba? Ma-dig deeper yung source. Di ba? CIC, if I may,
Bagong account ka. Pangalawa, yung trending pattern ng account. At saka, kumbaga sir, they're all circumstantial. Nakikita mo na bagong account, multiple accounts, same postings, tapos yung behavioral pattern mo is mabilis kang mag-respond. Then malamang, bot ka. Tapos ang followers mo inorganic. O pwedeng either bumili ka ng dating page, tapos
na may laman na.
na may laman na, tapos binago mo lang para yung likes mo, yung likes ng lumang page na doon. Or talagang walang like yung page mo, pero pag ganun post kasi sir, malamang ma-detect ka rin ni Facebook, matatag ka rin, matatanggal ka rin kasi may automatic feature din si Facebook. So the same way sir, and this is available to any Filipino by the way, the statistical the analytics of social media is actually publicly available. So this is something that we are looking at. So circumstantial, we don't see actual bots, but we see that's too fast for a human,
Yeah.
and you don't have organic likes, and you're too many.
Exactly. So, mixture eh. Mixture siya. Kaya, ang hirap mag-rely lang doon sa, kung nakita mo yung post mo, tapos nandiyan na yung banat sa'yo, ang dami na. So, ika-classify mo siya kung siya ay bot, ika-classify mo siya kung siya ay organic na binili. That's cool, tama yun. At meron pa tinatawag na troll farms. Iba ka yun. Tao yun, na talagang meron silang page na, halimbawa, 2,000 owner ng page, yun ang papanat sa'yo. And that costs you a lot of money. Kasi, babayaran mo yung grupong yan.
That's correct, Your Honor. And let me add, Your Honor, that actually all of this that we are discussing right now is a violation of the terms of use of the social media platforms. Wala na
Ang tanong ko, what can the PICC do? For example, like kami, maraming fake news na dumarating. Hindi naman ito yan. Okay, para lang kay i-harass. No, i-harass or dash. So what can the DICC do to at least protect us, for example?
Your Honor, we have been involved with the social media platforms, but absent of regulation, this is purely voluntary. In taking down a lot of fake accounts that have been involved in targeting key officials of government, especially the President. Marami na po, siguro mas maganda kung sila na yung magpaliwanag. There are, as far as we're concerned, there are tens of thousands in the past year that was just removed. Walang nagreklamo because they're really bots. They really were illegitimate accounts. Some are being held as multiple accounts by legitimate people, etc., etc. And I think that's the first one. We don't look at certain personalities, but we just look at patterns. And second, Your Honor, as I mentioned, if it is really a viral thing that threatens national security or threatens our way of life, our culture, nandiyan naman po yung buong CICC Council. There are, for specific laws like USAIC, automatic po yan, take down yan. Automatic na, kasi ano yan, child pornography, and according to the law, dapat i-block eh. Yun nga lang, we have to understand as we presented, Mr. Chair, pag pinag-uusapan natin cyber libel, o yung kanina, yung satirical content, but obviously flagrant, because it was AI generated. So, inamin naman yan, you know, I do AI for satirical, medyo mahirapan din kami pong mag-respond unless a formal complaint is filed.
Okay, Mr. Chair, there's meron pa yung gusto sabihin, kanina, Mr. Chair, just to address the earlier question of Congressman Abante about fake news. From the perspective of academics, educators, and fact-checkers, ayaw na po namin gamitin yung term na fake news kasi pero ang fake news po na term yun ay colloquial na po. Pero ayaw po namin siyang gamitin kasi na-politicize siya, parang ginagamit siya na pang-akusa sa tao na nagsasabi ng impormasyon na ayaw natin. So sa amin, we want to focus on the term information disorder. Kaya doon po pumapasok yung tatlong bilog na pinakita kanina ni Professor Can na tinuturo din po namin sa mga students namin sa UST. No? So yung
kaibahan ng disinformation, misinformation at malinformation. So sa dis and misinformation, ang pagkakaiba lang po nun ay merong intention to mislead or harm. No, kapag misinformation, nagkamali lang po. No, kagaya po siguro kanina yung issue ni Congressman Marcoleta sa mga broadsheet, baka nagkamali lang ho, honest mistake. Misinformation po yun, walang intention to cause harm or confusion. Yung disinformation, yun po, may malicious intent po yun. Yun namang malinformation, medyo controversial pa po itong term na to, but what it means is, yung information ay, information ay nagsisimula po sa totoo, pero minamanipulate po siya in such a way that can cause harm.
Sa idol, ano, pwede itong
Pilipinas o dito lang sa Metro Manila o urban areas, for example.
Ay laganap po siya sa lahat po ng may access sa social media, potentially ay magkaroon po sila ng exposure sa information disorder.
Okay, alright, disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation. Now, itong misinformation, medyo tatanggalin mo yan sa tinatawag nating fake news, di ba?
Opo, kasi wala pong masamang intensyon, honest mistake, no? Wala maaaring nakalimutan lang o talagang human error.
Therefore, yung disinformation, saka yung malinformation, merong ano yan, merong violation yan ng batas.
Yan po ang focus ng mga fact-checkers, ng mga academics, ng mga regulators, no? Yan din po ang focus ng content moderation.
Ms. Malu, meron bang violation sa batas niyan? Sa media practitioner tulad mo?
So, media practitioner. Sir, kasi op-ed ako eh. Opinion.
Sige,
opinion
okay.
column.
Kahit na ganun. When disinformation and malinformation, do you think that there is violation sa batas natin?
Yeah.
That they can be charged in court?
Yes, sir.
Meron, ha?
Kasi willful and maliciously.
Okay. How about the other bloggers, for example? Can we have you answered on this, Mr. Chair?
Pwede po ma-repeat yung question, Mr. Chair?
Hindi ako
Regarding po sa fake news.
Yeah, tungkol sa fake news and then the disinformation and malinformation.
Opo, definitely po cyber libel pwede pong yung disinformation, malinformation, kung ang purpose talaga ay mag-mislead ng tao para masira yung isang tao, yung isang kumpanya, definitely po pwede po yun sa cyber libel.
Now, kanina, yung sagutan ni Congressman Marcoleta sa kanyang attorney tungkol sa Congressman Marcoleta said na medyo malicious yung scenario mo, no? Sa'yo, do you think that would be malinformation? Mr. Napayag Gamboa? Is that malinformation? To inflict harm on a person? Is that not
Yung tanong na po,
malinformation?
yung kay Congressman Marcoleta, wala na po ba siya? Wala na siya. Hindi, kasi si Attorney Ricky, Mr. Chair, was stating his opinion. Tingin niya, nilinlang daw ni Congressman Marcoleta yung mga follower, yung mga certain group of people. So
it is not to inflict harm on a person. Is it? Yung binanggit niya, ano yung binanggit niya na nalililang? At ano pa yung binanggit? Pakulo. Pakulo lamang ito, tempelin lang. Naniniwala ba kayo na hindi ito malinformation where he used that to inflict harm on a person or inflict harm on a person's reputation or character?
I don't think may intention si Attorney Ricky na sirain yung pagkatao directly nitong si Congressman Marcoleta. I don't think personal na.
Indirectly, meron siya.
Opo, pero he was reacting doon sa specific moment na yun na sinasabi niya kanina. So, yun po yung, hindi ko po alam kasi siya po yung nagsabi. Pero sa tingin ko po, wala naman siyang
Sige, let me ask, you will sing your hand. Go ahead.
I'd also like to build po on what Ms. Senator Lucia said earlier. Now, we fact-check statements of fact. No? So, if it is mentioned, or if something is uttered as an opinion, I don't think the qualifications of the information disorder, the mis, dis, and mal, can be used to describe it. No? So, it must be a statement of fact for it to be fact-checked. No?
And also, so what do you think of what Attorney said on about Congressman Marcoleta? It's a malinformation.
Again, Mr. Chair, I think the qualifications of mal, dis, and misinformation cannot be used on an opinion.
Therefore, you would, as I understand now, that opinion, all right, and malinformation should be well defined, sir.
Yes, yes, Mr. Chair.
Well, Ms. Malu, would you please also answer that if you can?
Sir, yung sinabi ni Attorney Ricky, I would classify it as a value judgment. Pero mahirap value judgment.
Value.
Value, dahil sa kanya yun ang value set niya na nag-conclude siya na nanlilin lang. Pero, uttered to a politician, nag-iiba yung kulay kasi pag sinabi mong ikaw ay nanlilin lang, it goes to trust. Kaya,
You were saying, Ms. Malu, that we should react, Mr. Chair, no? We should react whenever there is a fake news that is blatantly being spread on us, okay? Now, is that not being on your skin?
no sir, kasi you just want to establish the facts. There are several tools where you can check whether there is an organic push or a push against you. There are several listening tools. I don't know the good undersecretary. There are several listening tools. One of which is Meltwater, Ubermetrics, Brand 25. Keywords. The system will monitor, and if it is an authentic one, you will not see all dark ones. You will see several nodes going to several outlets. But if it is being pushed, there will be several dark nodes and everything is going back and forth. That is an operation online. And there are existing applications that any legislator can use just to see whether it is organic and whether it is authentic.
Sorry, Ricky, would you want to react on that, Mr. Chair?
First sign of sore throat.